I'm with Brian Tejada, who is a candidate for the Vice President of 2020. Hi, I'm here with Sarah Sprinkle, our next candidate for the Vice President position of the leadership class of 2020. What activities would you say we should have in our school and why?
I think we should have more activities that involve lowerclassmen and upperclassmen combining. That way the lowerclassmen have someone to go to have questions with classes, or just anything in general the upperclassmen can have the lowerclassmen.
The activities we should have in our school should be based around two things. One, making them genuinely fun for students, because a lot of times they're really not, and that's very important to me. And also making them so that they're fun for all types of people, so that it's not just for like jocks or for people that like to do other types of things, but that it's for the entire student population, because otherwise it's not really fair. And I think that I would want to do more activities, like maybe we'll have like a Mario Kart game, like competition in assembly, or I want to introduce more activities with teachers, because it seems to get a lot of response whenever we have them doing something. Like maybe we'll have them participate in like a dance competition, or we'll have more teacher band appearances, or we'll get to do like a fun competition where the winner gets to pie Mr. Nazar in the face, or just something where the teachers are involved in it, because I feel like the teachers set the example for students as far as spirit, and if they're not doing it, then why are we? So I feel like we should just make it more inclusive to everyone, and I think that that would be good.
What would you say to a student who is struggling to be part of the school community?
I would honestly tell them to get out there, get involved with a bunch of clubs, do sports, talk to new people, push the boundaries, get out of your comfort zone. You'll meet a bunch of new people, and you'll get adopted basically into the community.
What I would say to a student who is struggling to be a part of the community in this school is that first and foremost that they always have a friend in me or in anybody else in leadership, because it's our job to be there for students when they need us. And it's also our job to make sure that their experience in high school is one that they can look back on and be happy about and not regret. So they can always find a friend in leadership. And the second thing I would tell them is that in every single experience I've had with a student like this, they have always found the perfect group for them, and it has always ended up in a happy situation for them, and the same will happen to you. And if they really, really, really needed help, then I would tell them that if they needed it, that they could come to me and I could connect them to either peer helpers or the school counselors, and they could always come to me for something like that.
Who is your role model and why?
My role models would be my parents, because they've been through a lot and they're still here helping me through everything. They carve the path for me, show me what's right, what's wrong, and I really appreciate them. I look up to them a lot.
Yeah.
My role model is Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, because she is what future leaders, which will be us, should look like. She's a 29-year-old woman in Congress. She's the youngest woman ever elected to Congress, and at the time of her campaign she was working two jobs, one as a waitress and one as a bartender. I think she's very admirable because she actually represents the people that have to follow the laws that the government makes. A lot of the people in the government come from rich families who don't actually understand what it is to be like us, like everyday Americans, and she does, because she is one and she was raised that way. So I know that the decisions she'll make in Congress will directly reflect the good and fair qualities of the American people, rather than things that just simply sound good on paper. And she will do a great job in Congress of making sure that we aren't overlooked as we so often are in government. And I hope to one day do something in government that will change the future like her. So she's a role model to me for that reason too.
How would you make our school better?
So me personally, I'm a very, very talkative person. So I would talk to as many people as I can, get all their output, get information, what they would like to improve in our school, and bring it back to leadership class and see what we can make come true.
I would make our school better by first and foremost having more projects that make the whole leadership class in tandem with the school body just more cohesive and fun. So I would have more projects dedicated to the happiness and well-being of students' mental health. Like on finals week, I would want to do care packages that would have little things in them to de-stress their week and take a little bit of that stress off. And I would have more spirit activities that everybody could dress for, because a lot of the time, for example, like homecoming week, the theme is a little bit too out there, and it is the reason a lot of the time we don't have enough spirit in our school. And I want to raise that spirit, so I think that I would make sure that the homecoming week theme would be something not only fun, but also something that people could actually dress for, because then everybody would dress up, and that would be really fun in assemblies and things like that. And then people would be more spirited. And it's another thing that's really important to me next year is that a big thing that I've always done in leadership is community service. So I would definitely up the ante on that, and I would have one more blood drive, so there would be 3 next year. This year we broke a record by saving 168 lives this year with 2 blood drives. So I'm thinking next year we could save even more with 3. And I'm all about that, because it means a lot to me to give back to our communities after they've given so much to us for all of our lives. And I would do this by having more fundraisers to support the homeless shelters and hospital and local needs. And I would just make sure that we are doing the most we possibly can for a community that has always supported us. And then the last thing I would do is improve leadership itself. A lot of the time, the student body and the leadership class have a kind of awkward disconnect because we're not communicating well. And I would make it so that the leadership students were more approachable, and that everybody in the school could approach us with any concerns they have, and that there would never be that miscommunication. So we would always know what each other's wants and needs were, because we need feedback from the student body, from you guys, to tell us what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right, so that we can make it a better experience for you guys in general. And so I would just make sure that we're one student body. We're not leadership and the school, we're together. And that's really, really, really important to me. I'm running for vice president because I want to leave the school better than we found it, and I think that with your guys' support that I could do that next year.